Well, this is one of my recent drawings. It's not actually a painting because I just got the idea to draw it one day. I was actually looking at images on the internet and had something that's quite similar to this, so I did my own style, particular drawing. The most the image that is most like the one that was on the internet is the rays of the sun with the horizon. That's pretty much a very similar thing, but the woman's completely different. So the image of the woman and even the colors that are used, and of course the drawbridge is different. So I call this artwork Walking Away, because the woman is obviously walking away. She's walked up this plank thing, plank of stairs behind her. It's sort of like the type of stairs that you'd see at some kind of wharf, but for this woman, she's just walking away from the world, sort of thing. The sun is on her back, so she's walking away from the sun as well. I don't really try and style any drawing in a particular way. I'm not trying to copy off Sherlock Holmes with the hat. It was supposed to be a straight colored hat, but because I was trying to use the same colors throughout the whole painting, basically red, black, and blue, I made it checkered so that you could see the hat a lot clearer, whereas if I had used a plain color, I don't think it would stand out as much. So I used a checker pattern to make it different from the plain background, and I think that helps make the hat look different from the background. It makes it stand out more. I like the way her face is shaped. The neckline is pretty good. I even like the collar line of the jacket. I like the one eye poking out from underneath the hat, whereas the other one's hidden. It creates some sort of sense of mystery about the figure. It doesn't reveal her whole entirety. It sort of hides or shields her a little bit from the eye, and that builds up a little bit of mystery, a little bit of disguise, and helps her become a more interesting character, I think. I'm not going for any kind of generation. This is basically my style drawing. I'm not trying to be 1950s or 60s. It's just supposed to be art in general. Basically, I think it's the keeping with the same colors was a bit of a challenge. I had to make the lines different, move in a different way. I even the stairs, I thought the stairs would blend in too much, but I made the pattern different. I made them into stairs rather than a path so that they would stand out. Whereas if I just made a path, made it straight black, it would have blended too much with the hairline and the jacket. It would have just been a black thing. It wouldn't be nearly as interesting. So I like this painting a lot. I put it up for sale, and within 2 days it was started to get interest. So this is already a sold painting, but I just thought I'd show it because I do think it's very interesting. And I've got a couple of other things that I can show as well, not just the painting this time. So I'll just take a minute and I'll be back. So what is this? This doesn't look like anything, does it? It looks like it's sitting on your hair. It looks like just a yellow something which is undescribable. That's because this is an abstract. It's an abstract cult sculpture. It can actually stand up. It uses this little bit here to actually be able to stand, but of course on this wonky surface it won't be able to stand, but on a flat table surface it will. So it's a standing figure. It's got a little bit of loops here and there, a little bit of loops here. It doesn't actually portray anything. It's just some sort of funky sculpture. So you could say, oh yes, I see a sitting pregnant woman or something, but it's really up to the eye of the person looking at it, for them to be able to tell what it is. It's not designed to be anything in particular. It's just a sculpture, which I think is kind of funky. The back's a little bit is not perfect. It's got dried glue, which is just sitting there in an annoying way. But I like this side. I think it's pretty interesting, and I think it would be a nice collectible. Okay, so what else do I have? This is some sort of sculpture which resembles sort of debris. So it resembles sort of something that's fallen down and sitting on top of each other. It's not really resembling anything once again, but as you can see, there's a little bit of different different lengths and shapes here. This is like a circular object, sort of squished down here. It's sitting on top of other little. Ooh, that's no good that I dropped it. It's sort of sitting on other little things as well. So it's all balanced together. It's kind of sturdy. It's been glued a little bit, and I hope that it doesn't break ever. But even then, I don't know whether it will break, but hopefully it'll stay like this, and if it does get sold, it will be handled more carefully than how I just handled it. So I better put it down before I drop it again. I don't want to drop it. I only just made this. I'm not sure how strong it is, but it seems pretty strong. I've dropped it like twice already, so. But I think it's an interesting sculpture. I had a hard time working the clay, so I had only limited things I could do with the clay. It wasn't very supple at all. It was sort of dry and brittle, which is why I developed this sort of sculpture, because I couldn't transfer the clay into any kind of ball or anything properly. So I had to create something that's like a jagged rubble that's fallen down on top of each other. But still, I think it's pretty interesting. I would make it again. I might even buy the clay again, because I think it is a good sculpture, and I'm going to put it down before I drop it again. This is actually another sculpture. It's very interesting. It's got some sort of wacky kind of alien shape. It's not dried properly, so I'm only going to show it for a short time before I have to put it down where I had it before. But that's sort of something in the making. I've got to yet draw eyes in the middle of those white dots up the top. But it's sort of like almost like a jar. It's got this little nook, which is which you could use as a type of jar, but I'm gonna just say it's some sort of just part of the sculpture. The figure's obviously hunched over and everything, so I think that's a pretty interesting sculpture. I have no idea if it will sell or anything, but I think that it's interesting. I mean, I think it's got a lot of interesting stuff. A very different look, which not many people will ever see. So I'm going to show one more. It's not finished. It's in the making. It's on a dirty table and whatever. This is supposed to be a sculpture, but it's all taped up. It's actually been falling apart because it's been breaking while drying. I've knocked it a couple of times. I've even tried painting it, and that made it break again. So at the moment, I've got it sitting there until tomorrow. So it's gonna be 24 hours till I touch it again, and I'm hoping to paint it gold, and I think the other color I was going to use is red, but I might change my mind and make it silver, but at the moment I was thinking gold and red. I think it has some promise, but I'm not sure how it will turn out. It's very brittle, it breaks easily. It's not the best sculpture in the world. I've had to glue it twice already, and even now I've had to glue it a third time, and it's all taped up waiting to dry.